ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we have just read the 34th shloka of 6th Adhyaya, where Arjuna has been asking that the mind is so fickle and it is very it is churning in nature, and then it is quite strong, and then restraining that mind is very difficult, almost impossible, just as you cannot restrain the air. So that is what he was saying. We read the Bhashyam also to some extent. There is one last line in the Bhashyam. So this, I think the last few shlokas we will slightly rush through, because what all he has to say about this mano nigraha etc. has been told. Some little bit is still there. So this Bhashya we read up to न केवलम अत्यर्थम चंचलम प्रमाथिच प्रमथन शीलम. Pramathana Sheelam, I explained that word mathnati. It is from the root manth, which means to churn you, to shake you from inside. So that is the meaning of manthana. So pramathicha, then shariram indriyanicha vikshipati. It just tosses your mind here and there. Shariram, not only mind but body and indriyas, it tosses about. So that is where we stopped. Paravashi karoti. So you are no longer under your control. You are under the control of those sense organs, and then wherever the mind goes, you are under the control of the mind. Then let us read. Kincha balavat na kenachit niyantum shakyam. Kincha drudham tantunagavat achchedyam. Okay, we will stop here. Kincha balavat na kenachit niyantum shakyam. Na kenachit means not by anything. Niyantum shakyam. It cannot be controlled or it cannot be restrained by anything else. Anything. So now it is so difficult to restrain the mind, just as it is difficult to capture vayu. You want to hold vayu, you want to hold air, you cannot capture it. So it is somewhat like that. Then Kincha drudham tantunagavat achchedyam. So Shankaracharya is giving one example of one strong sea animal called tantunaga. Tantu actually means a thread or a rope like thing. Tantunaga, maybe it is some type of sea snake. The other commentators also have not elaborated on that. They only said it is a long animal, something like a sea snake, which is quite strong in nature, which is very difficult to cut. So probably olden days, probably all these seafarers, they must have seen all types of sea animals. So this is one type of sea animal which is supposed to be very strong. Achchedyam, it is very difficult to cut also. So tantunagavat achchedyam. Drudham, that is, it is so strong. Achchedyam, and then tasya evam bhutasya manasaha. Say this thing, why is it so achchedyam and why is it so binding? Mind, why is it so binding? We are talking of a sannyasi. The overall context is that of a sannyasi. A person who has graduated from karma yoga, who has come to dhyana yoga, and then who has become mature in the dhyana yoga, and he has attained the brahmajnana. For that man also, you are talking about bandhanam. How and why? So the question is, so even that man, because of this prarabdha, the very fact that his life is there, it is due to this prarabdha karma. This life is there, and then in this life, which is continuing, something like an arrow which has been shot from above, or like that kulala chakra, like the potter's wheel. So this thing is called a badhita anuvrutti. There is a term in Vedanta, it is called badhita anuvrutti. Though this, which means though this world has been negated, it is badhitam. Badhitam means negated. So though the world has been negated, it is still continuing. It is still continuing because the body-mind complex is existing. So this gentleman, he is a jnani. He is a jnani and he is in that Brahman awareness. In spite of that, his body-mind is existing, body and mind are existing. And this mind, it is so fickle. It is always changing in nature. It is so changing in nature, the moment it sees an object, it gets attracted by that. So because of this change, this man has to be eternally alert. This man has to be eternally alert. He has to be eternally cautious that the mind does not move here and there. So it is something like, say, what they do to horses. They put some sort of, what is it called? Blinkers, what they call blinkers. They put some blinkers to the horses. So it is somewhat like that. This man, of course, he is not putting blinkers. He has to always be alert. He has to be always having that discriminating mind, that viveka buddhi, that awareness he has to constantly have. So otherwise, this thing will drag. This will drag and bind you to that place, bind you to some sense object. So that is why it is so. It is called drudham. And tasya nigra. Then tasya evam bhutasya manasaha aham nigraham rodham manye vayoriva yatha vayoh dushkaro nigrahah tataha tatopi manasah dushkaram manye ityabhiprayah. So just as it is very difficult to restrain vayu, it is very difficult to restrain or capture vayu. To capture the mind, to restrain it, to hold it in a particular place, or to hold it in a particular thought process which is called dhyana. Dhyana, what is dhyana? A particular thought process having similar vrittis. So that the same, what is the tulya vritti, tulya pratyaya santati it is called. Tulya pratyaya santati is the same, the similar thought stream. It has to be there in that dhyana. So the mind has to be restrained and kept in that similar thought stream, and no dissimilar thought should enter. No dissimilar thought should enter and then disturb this thought process. So in that process, say it is very difficult to capture the mind. So tatopi manasaha dushkaram manye. It is more difficult to capture the mind and hold the mind than it is difficult to capture the air. So it is like that. Then this sloka is over. Then evam etad yatha bravishi. Okay, he says not yadha, yatha. Yatha is yatha, tatha, sarvatha, something like that. And the yadha is not there. Yatha bravishi. So here Lord Krishna is okay, he is conceding. Yes, what you say is right. Evam etat. It is so. It is actually so. I don't blame you. The body-mind complex is so strong. Evam etad yatha bravishi. Like what you say, it is true. Then let us read the shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Gruhyate. So he says, Asamshayam Mahabaho. Hey Mahabaho, oh you mighty armed man, Asamshayam. What you say, there is absolutely no doubt about it. Asamshayam, Asamshayam. That is absolutely no doubt about it. Manaha Durnigraham Chalam. There is no doubt about the fact that this mind is something which is difficult to be restrained. Durnigraham. It is very hard to be restrained. And Manaha Chalam. Chalam is the adjective for Manaha. Chalam Manaha. That is this fickle mind. This ever vibrant, ever moving mind is very difficult to be restrained. But still there is an upaya. There is a method. There is a method. Otherwise we will throw up our hands and then we will just indulge in all sensual activities. So you can't throw up your hands. There is a method. There is a twin process. That is this abhyasena, he kaunteya, abhyasena vairagyena cha gruhyate. Idam manaha vairagyena, then abhyasena cha gruhyate. Abhyasa and vairagya, he is going to explain what is the meaning of abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa is a constant practice. Abhyasa, abhi plus asa. Abhyasa, that is just to be on it, to be at it. You don't be away from that. That is what is abhyasa. Then vairagya. That is dispassion. Vairagya is dispassion. This vigataha ragaha, yasmat. That stage is called viragi. Vairagasya, that particular state of mind is called Vairagyam, where this raga, dvesha, all this attachment and then hatred, like and dislike, all these things have gone away. So that state of mind is called Vairagya. And Vairagya is only possible by discrimination, by that Nitya Vastu Viveka. Without that Viveka, Vairagya cannot come. So that is why it is the Nitya Vastu Viveka is the first step. So let us see the thing. So this shloka is, say very simple words, asamshayam, there is no doubt, he mahabaho, manaha, durnigraham, chalam. Tu means on the other hand, he kaunteya, he kaunteya again is address, mahabaho is the address and he kaunteya is the address. Abhyasena, that is by constant practice and also by vairagya, it is quite possible. This is again one, there is one Patanjali's Yoga Sutra which says, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan Nirodhaha. Whatever we find in Gita and also in the Upanishads, you also find in, say, the same sadhana prakriya, the same process of practice, you find in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, where he has done in a more, he has categorized all those things in a rather scientific way. So that is why the commentators, they totally take from, say, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We may not agree with the final doctrine, but then we agree with the whole sadhana process. So that is why commentators like Madhusudana, they totally take from that and then they quote. Because this process of restraining the mind, it is common to all schools of thought, except probably Charvakas. Except these Charvakas means those materialists who say that there is only this world and then there is no other world and then there is no God whatsoever, there is no Atma whatsoever, this body itself is the Atma, so they are Atmavadi. Except those people, all other schools of thought, they have given emphasis on say this chitta nirodha, or this restraining the mind and then to keep it in a proper way and then focus it on the supreme reality. All other schools they have done. Even the Nastika schools, even those which have not believed in the supreme Brahman or whatever it is, even those people like Bauddhas, even they have very elaborate systems of meditation and very elaborate systems of this mind control. So that is why we also quote from say this Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Okay, so Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodhaha is one sutra from Patanjali. Let us read the Bhashyam. Asamshayam Nasti Samshayaha Manaha Durnigraham Chalam Ityatra He Mahabaho. So asamshayam means Nasti Samshayam, there is absolutely no doubt. In what? Manaha Durnigraham Chalam Ityatra. In the matter that, Ityatra means in the matter that mind is Durnigraham. Manaha is Durnigraham, very hard to restrain. And then Chalam, it is always fickle. In this aspect or on this subject, there is absolutely no doubt. Then Kintu Abhyasena Abhyaso Nama Chitta Bhumau Kasyamchit Samana Pratyaya Avrittihi Chittasya Avrittihi Chittasya. So he says Abhyasena. And what is that Abhyasa? Shankaracharya is elaborating it. Abhyaso Nama Chitta Bhumau, that is Chitta Bhumi. Chittam is what? Chittam is mind, another aspect of mind, where we know that the Antahkarana is having Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, 4 levels. So that level where you recapitulate your ideas and then you say recall all those ideas, and then the very process of thinking depends on Chitta. Mind only, Manas only sees, Buddhi discriminates, and then it is Chitta which recalls all those ideas and then which keeps on meditating on that. So this activity, this particular function of the mind is called Chitta. Though Antahkaranam is one and the same, there are different functions at various levels. So this Chitta level is different. So Chitta Bhumau. Bhumi means, what is the normal meaning of Bhumi is earth. Bhumi also means a plane, a particular plane. Chitta Bhumau. Mind is in different planes at different times. So mind is in ordinary, say it is just not concentrating on anything. So that is one plane. But then we are now talking about a plane of meditation. Chitta Bhumi. Chittam, this particular Chittam is on the plane of meditation, where you are allowing a similar thought process. So that is what Shankaracharya is going to say. Nama Chitta Bhumau Kasyamchit, in some chitta bhumi, in one particular plane of mind, samana pratyaya avruttihi chittasya. Samana pratyaya, this similar thought process. Pratyaya is a thought. Samana pratyaya, similar thought process has to be there. What is the thought process here? This thought process is Vedanta Vakyanam Anusandhanam. That's all. There is no other thought process. That is, this gentleman who is a realized person, though he is a realized person, he has to constantly do that Anusandhana. Anusandhana, that word I explained to you earlier. Anusandhana is constantly to be alert constantly, and then constantly remind yourself that you are nothing other than Brahman. So if you don't do that, then your mind keeps on moving here and there. So that constant Anusandhana is a must even for a Jnani. So that is what he says. Kasyamchit chitta bhumau kasyamchit, which means kasyamchit chitta bhumau. You can take it that way. Then samana pratyaya avruttihi. Avrutti means repetition. Samana pratyaya avrutti. Avrutti means repetition. That is constantly reminding. It is as though this mind which is just getting tossed about here and there, it is something like a boat which is getting tossed about. So what do you do for that boat? You anchor that boat somewhere. You anchor that boat somewhere to some peg somewhere in that lake, so that it doesn't move, or in the sea, maybe sea also, and then so that the boat does not move. So it is something like anchoring. This chitta bhumau, this abhyasa is, you put one particular thought process in the mind and be anchored to that. You don't move, not anchor, don't think of the TV anchors. Anchoring the mind is different. So this anchoring the mind to a particular idea. So that is what this dhyana is like. Anchor means that is a sort of alambana. Alambana, what is this alambana here? It may be pranava upasana. Pranava upasana means this onkara upasana. Or it may be upasana of some god form. You may be a upasaka of some Narasimha Swami or goddess Saraswati or some such form. You may be a upasaka. So, or you may be Nirguna Brahma upasaka. Here, of course, he has crossed that level of Saguna upasana. This particular man we are talking about, he has crossed the level of Saguna upasana. He is in that Nirguna Brahma state. So that particular thought process, he has to continuously, he should be anchored to that thought process. So that particular alambana he should never forget. Then chitta samana pratyaya avruttihi chittasya. In that mind, this avrutti has to be constantly there. He has to constantly remind himself. Then vairagyam nama drushta ishta bhogeshu dosha darshanabhyasat vaitrushnyam. Okay. Then again vairagya. This also we know. What is this vairagya? Drushta adrushta vishayeshu. Drushta društešta bhogeshu. Drushta drushta ishta bhogeshu. Drushtam, there is something which is drushtam, which is seen. Adrushta, which is unseen. That is something like Swarga and various lokas. And then ishta, something which is desired. Ishta is something which is desired by the person. And in those bhogeshu, in all those enjoyable things, bhogam is an enjoyable thing. In all those desirable and enjoyable things, then dosha darshana abhyasa vashat. Dosha darshanam. Dosha darshanam is realizing their ephemeral nature. Dosha darshanam is knowing that they are imperfect. Knowing that they are imperfect. So that is what we have seen. What is that dosha darshanam? One thing is it is ephemeral, it is imperfect, and then it will finally lead you to more misery. So all these things we have seen. Then again satishayatva, it is only something which is relative, it is not absolute. Whatever ananda you get is only a little ananda, it is only a temporary ananda. So those things, that sort of thinking or appreciation is called dosha darshanam. Dosha darshana abhyasat, that dosha darshana also has to be constantly there. And that will lead you to that vaitrushnyam. Vaitrushnyam means vigata trushna. Trushna, what is trushna? Trushna is desire. Trushna may be the equivalent to English word called thirst. Trushna and thirst. So a thirst for things, longing for things. So vigata trushna. Yeah, that stage is called, that person is called vitrushnaha. That particular state is called vaitrushnyam. it is a Vaitrushnyam. That particular state is that is another noun. Say that sort of Vaitrushnyam, where that desires have totally disappeared because of the habit of seeing this dosha darshana. So tena cha vairagyena gruhyate vikshepa rupaha prachara chittasya. Pracharaha chittasya. So vikshepa rupaha pracharaha chittasya. Chittasya of the mind. Vikshepa rupaha pracharaha. Prachara means moving about everywhere. Prachara. Charati. Charadhatu means moving about. Prachara means not propaganda. Prachara in Telugu we use it for propaganda. But here the original meaning is moving about here everywhere. So chittasya vikshepa rupaha pracharaha. Vikshepa, that word also I explained. Shipadhatu means throwing. Vikshepa. Kalakshepa we say. What is kalakshepa? Wasting your time. You are throwing away your time. What we say kalakshepam. Kalakshepam is wasting your time, throwing away your time. So chitta vikshepa rupaha pracharaha. So this type of moving about everywhere, it is nothing but vikshepa. You are only wasting your say chittam. You are only wasting your thinking faculty, let us say. So he says your thinking faculty should be tagged on to some noble object and it should not be tossed about here and there. So that is the thing. So vikshepa rupaha pracharaha chittasya vairagyena cha gruhyate. Gruhyate means it can be attained. It can be, the mind can be held at a place like an anchor. The mind can be held, like in the case of an anchoring of a anchored boat, the mind also can be anchored to a particular thought process. So that is it. Vairagyena cha gruhyate pracharaha chittasya. Evam tan mano gruhyate nigruhyate nirudhyate ityarthaha. So evam, in this manner, tat manaha. Tan mano is tat manaha, that particular mind. Gruhyate, manaha is napumsakalingam. So that is why you see tat manaha. If manaha, we should not, because there is a visarga, we should not think that it is a masculine gender. Manaha is neuter gender, napumsakalinga. That is why this tat word is there. Tat manaha, that is tan mano, gruhyate, nigruhyate, nirudhyate ityarthaha. Gruhyate means nigruhyate, nirudhyate. It can be properly restrained, it can be properly controlled. So that is the meaning. Nigruhyate ityarthaha. Yah punaha asanyatatma tena. So now coming back to somebody who is of course in that process, who is in that dhyana yoga, but somehow he is still not able to attain that perfection. So he is still not able to attain that perfection. So this is, this is again the Lord Krishna himself is saying. So what is the state of that? As I say, for that gentleman who is not able to attain perfection in that meditation. So let us read the shloka. Asanyatatmana yogo dushprapayiti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptumaya upayataha. Fine. So this, here again Lord Krishna says, this yoga means dhyana yoga, that perfection, attaining perfection in that dhyana yoga is dushprapaha, very difficult to attain. Iti me matihi, this is what is my conviction, this is what is my opinion. Iti me means mine, matihi means my opinion, my conviction, my firm, say a considered opinion, let us say. What, for whom? Asanyatatmana. For somebody who has not attained that perfection in control of the mind. Asamyata atma. Atma means the body-mind complex, the self. Asamyata, we have seen this word several times earlier. That is something which in the body-mind complex which has not been properly controlled. Though this man has gone to a particular level of that, say, abhyasa, still he has not attained perfection. So he is telling about that state. So asamyatatmana is in Tritiya Vibhakti. Yogaha dushprapaha iti me matihi. Then Vashya, on the other hand, Vashyatmana tu, on the other hand, Vashyatmana, for somebody who has perfection, who has perfectly controlled it, then, and also it is not enough. It is not enough if you just control once and then be happy. If you just look away, the mind again will keep running. Ashyatmana tu yatata. Yatata means one who is constantly at it, one who is constantly aware of it. Yatata is again Tritiya Vibhakti for yatan. Yatan means prayatna. We know the word prayatna, effort. Yatan is one who is making effort. Yatata is by the person who is making effort. So Tritiya Vibhakti. Vashyatmana yatata, or otherwise yatata vashyatmana, by the person who is always making effort, whose mind is always alert. That is somebody who is not trusting his mind. Mind is something which cannot be trusted. So that is what Madhusudana Saraswati says. Mind is something which cannot be trusted. So you have to be constantly watchful of the mind. So by that person, that is what is the meaning of yatata. Vashyatmana tu yatata, you be always alert. Shakyaha avaptum upayataha. So it is shakyaha. What is shakyaha? Yogaha. Yogaha shakyaha means yoga can be attained by someone who has perfectly controlled his mind. And then shakyaha avaptum. Avaptum means to attain it. Avapti. Apti and avapti are one and the same. That is attainment. Attainment. Avapti is attainment. Avaptum means in order to attain, it is possible. So that is it. Then upayataha. Upayataha means by means of a proper plan, by means of a proper strategy. What is that strategy? We have seen this Abhyasa and Vairagya. That is the strategy. That is, you have some alambana. Alambana is again, as I said, there are three levels of say alambana, two levels. One is a Sagunopasana, and again there is an intermediate level, that is Pranavopasana. Pranavopasana can be there for Parabrahma level, Aparabrahma level, or for the Parabrahma level. We have seen it in Kathopanishad also, because Omkara can be used for attaining that Apara Brahma. That is the Brahma what we talk about, the creator Brahma we talk about at the transcendental, at the transactional level, and the Parabrahma we talk about at the transcendental level. So for those things, those two things, for both the things, Omkara is useful. So this Sagunopasana and Nirgunopasana, we are now not talking about Sagunopasana, we are talking about that Nirguna. So upayataha, by having that particular alambana, by focusing your mind, by anchoring your mind to that particular alambana, that is an upaya. Upaya is a strategy. Is the shloka clear?
Yes.
Okay, let us read the bhashyam. Asanyatatmana abhyasa vairagyabhyam asanyataha atma antahkaranam yasya saha asanyatatma. So I am also is there. Soyam asanyatatma. Soyam is saha I am, that particular man. Saha I am, that particular man. He says Soyam, that particular man is asanyatatma. That is asanyatatmana abhyasa vairagyabhyam asamyataha atma. In spite of this abhyasa and vairagya, this gentleman is not able to attain perfection. So that is the meaning. In spite of that strategy, he is still not able to attain that perfection. Saha asanyatatma tena yogaha tena asanyatatmana yogaha dushprapaha dukkhena prapyaha iti me matihi. So this is it. So by this person who is an asanyatatma, by one who has not attained that perfection, yogaha dushprapaha, it is very difficult to attain. Dushprapaha dukkhena prapaha prapaniyaha. Then dukkhena prapyaha iti me matihi. Me matihi means it is my view, my opinion, my considered opinion. Then yastu punaha vashyatma abhyasa vairagyabhyam vashyatvam apaditaha atma manaha yasya soyam vashyatma. So yastu punaha vashyatma. On the other hand, the one who is a vashyatma, that is one who has absolute control on his mind. So then how? Abhyasa vairagyabhyam vashyam apaditaha atma manaha yasya. By means of this abhyasa and vairagya, say this mind has been brought under control. Apaditaha vashyatvam apaditaha. So it has been brought under the control, brought under proper control. Vashyatvam apaditaha. So that sort of person, soyam, that is that man, that particular man, he is called Vashyatma, one whose Atma is under his control. Then Tena Vashyatmanatu Yatata Bhuyopi Prayatnam Kurvata Shakyaha Avaptum Yogaha Upayataha Yathoktad Upayat. So Tena Vashyatmana, by that Vashyatma, Vashyatmana is again in Trutiya Vibhakti, Vashyatmana Yatata. This again Shankaracharya says Bhuyopi Prayatnam Kurvata. It is not enough if you once have some flickering, some glimpse of Brahmagyana, and then you feel that you are okay. If you are happy with that little bit of flicker, then mind again, because this body-mind complex is still continuing, and this mind can drag you here and there. This mind can again destabilize you. So that sort of thing is there. So bhuyaha api, bhuyaha means again. This man, yatata, bhuyaha api prayatnam kurvata. Again, he has to do that prayatna. He has to always make effort. You can never trust the mind. So that is what he says. Bhuyopi prayatnam kurvata shakyaha avaptum yogaha. So that sort of perfection is able to be, is possible to be attained. That yoga is possible to be attained. Shakyaha avaptum yogaha upayataha. Again that upaya, that alambana, that focus on that Vedanta Shravana, Vedanta Vakya. So that has to be there. So without that alambana of this Vedanta Vakya, your mind may just keep on wandering. It may be disturbed. So that is it. Yathoktad upayataha yathoktad upayat. That is the upayas which have been told above. That is Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa of what? Abhyasa of that Tulya Pratyaya Santati. Tulya Pratyaya Santati of what? Of Vedanta Vakya. So that is it. Tatra Yogabhyasa Angikaranena Paraloka Ihaloka Prapti Nimittani Karmani Sanyastani Yoga Siddhi Phalamcha Moksha Sadhanam Samyak Darshanam Na Praptamiti Yogi Yoga Margat Maranakale Chalita Chittaha iti Tasya Nasham Ashankya Arjuna Uvacha. So Arjuna is thinking of some hypothetical situation. He is, when like us, he says, he is always doubtful. Like all of us, initially he said the mind is very, very difficult to be restrained. So Lord Krishna said, no, it is difficult, it is, I agree with you, but still you can restrain it, you make effort. And then again he has got a further doubt. What is that? So okay, I agree that this man, he tries to attain, he attains and then he attains perfection. But you used one word called yatata. That is, you have to be constantly reminding yourself, you should never forget it, you should never leave that abhyasa. So that is what you said. But so you imagine a person who is throughout his life he is doing this anusthana, anusandhana, and then at a very old age, maybe his mind may not be in his control. Maybe his he may go into some delirium, or he may get into some situation where his mind is totally disturbed, and then that mind, in that situation, he may not be able to do this anusandhana. He may not be able to focus his mind on this particular dhyana process. So what will happen to that man? Then will the entire thing go waste? So that is the question. So that is the context. He is visualizing a situation, a sort of hypothetical situation, where he feels that a person who has for a long time has done practice, then for some reason, so Chalita Manasaha, his mind becomes unstable, let us say. So in that stage, what will happen to that? What all he has done, what all will happen to all that thing which he has accumulated? So that is it. So Arjuna, let us read this shloka. So this line I will explain. Tatra Yogabhyasa Angikaranena. Tatra Yogabhyasa Angikaranena. Angikarana means by adopting this yoga process. What yoga? Dhyana yoga. We are talking about the Dhyana yoga. Tatra Yogabhyasa Angikaranena. That is by adopting this particular Dhyana yoga. Then paraloka ihaloka prapti nimittani karmani sanyastani. So you have again, on one hand, you have again given up the karmas. You have given up the karmas, you have given up karma yoga too. Karma, pure karma may lead you to some swarga. But then karma yoga, you said karma yoga, and even karma yoga you have given up. Then ihaloka, paraloka, sadhana nimittani, karmani. All these karmas, they are for what? They are for ihaloka sadhana and paraloka sadhana. Those things have been, given up. Then, iha prapti sadhanani sanyastani. Then, yoga siddhi phalam cha moksha sadhanam samyak darshanam na praptam. Then, because of this disturbance at some final stage, yoga siddhi phalam, the fruit of that yoga, yoga siddhi, attainment of yoga, that is the fruit of that attainment of yoga, that is more, and also yoga siddhi phalam moksha sadhanam cha, and it is also the only sadhana, it is only the tool for moksha, it is the only tool for liberation. What is that? Samyak darshanam. That samyak darshanam, which is the fruit of that yoga, the whole passage has to be understood like this. Yoga siddhi phalam and moksha sadhanam, these two are adjectives for this samyak darshanam. Samyak darshanam, that is proper understanding, is the fruit of that yoga, yoga siddhi phalam, and also moksha sadhanam. That is the only thing, samyak darshanam is the only tool or only strategy for moksha. So moksha sadhanam, samyak darshanam na praptam. So on one hand you have given up karma, and on the other hand you have not attained that. Like a trapeze artist, so he has left one end, he is not able to catch the other end, he will fall somewhere on the mat. So like that. Moksha sadhanam samyak darshanam na praptamiti yogi yoga margat marana kale chalita chittaha. From that yoga marga, from that path of yoga, from that path of dhyana yoga, marana kale chalita chittaha. So maybe at some final stage when the man is too feeble and the mind is not in his control and he is not focusing on this Vedanta Vakya. So what will happen to that man? Chalita chittaha iti tasya nasham ashankya. So anticipating or hypothetically visualizing a situation. Nasham ashankya. Ashanka is anticipating. Ashankya. Then Arjuna uvacha. So Arjuna is asking a question. Let us read the shloka. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayopeto yogat chalita manasah aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Hey Krishna is the address. Kam gatim sa gacchati. What type of plight, what will be his plight? What sort of situation will he, where will he end up? What is his plight? So that is the question. Ayatihi, one at some point of time who failed to control his mind. He was there in that process and he attained a particular stage, but unfortunately at the time of death or so, some hypothetical situation where his mind gets disturbed. Ayatihi, but still Shraddhaya upetaha, his Shraddha has not wavered. His Shraddha has no. Shraddha is what? What is Shraddha? Shraddha, there is a definition in Vedanta, that is Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishayaha Shraddha. We get it in Vedanta Sara. That is what the text says and what the Guru says. You should have some faith. It is not a blind faith or superstition. This Shraddha is something which we have to understand properly. Which we discussed earlier also. Shraddha is something, it is not a blind faith or superstition. It is a sort of, Vishwasa, that is the word which is used. Vishwasa actually means trust. We can understand it this way. So, in this Brahma Marga or Brahma Sadhana, what is the tool? The mind is the tool. Then where is the place this sort of sadhana takes place? In the mind only. So imagine a science teacher, let us say, a science teacher, he is doing an experiment in a laboratory. Suppose he has to mix up some ingredients, what do you call them, some reagents, let us say. And then by mixing this and this, I have forgotten my elementary chemistry, but anyway, by mixing some X and Y, he gets some other product. He met some other product he gets. So while mixing this thing, his mind of course is neutral. His mind is not engaged in that. His mind is not actually, he is not one of the, it is not one of the reagents. There are some things which are there in the laboratory, some substances. He is mixing X, A, B, C, and then he is getting another product called D. And these things, they have to be pure, isn't it? Whatever chemicals he is taking, these chemicals have to be pure in order to give the desired product, isn't it? You are trying to produce a product, medicine, whatever it is. So unless these things are very pure, you will not get the product. So here in the process of this Brahma Dhyana, Brahma Yoga, what is it? What is the laboratory? The mind itself is the laboratory. The mind itself is the science teacher. The mind itself is the reagent also. This is the mind itself has to react. Mind itself has to change its nature, and mind itself has to change its perspective, isn't it? What exactly is Samyak Darshana? Samyak Darshana means you are having a particular vision till now, and your vision changes. Your vision changes, and then you look at something as say world. Then when the vision changes, you look this world in a totally different way. You look at it as a manifestation of Brahman. You look at it as nothing other than Brahman. So that is the change in vision. So the change in vision has to take place in the mind only. So the mind is the laboratory, the mind is the teacher, the mind itself is the material which has to undergo a change and then become a different product. So for that, the mind has to be pure. Just as in a laboratory, all the ingredients have to be pure, the mind also has to be pure. So that purity of the mind, that willingness to trust and then willingness to go ahead. So that sort of go ahead in this process of dhyana. So that is what is Shraddha. That willingness to go ahead, in the yoga process. Instead of questioning the teacher, instead of questioning, the text, Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha. If you keep on questioning whether what is this stupid yoga, am I going to become Brahman? So if that is so, then you will never get that vision. So you have to have that type of purity of mind and the trust in the words of the Guru and also words of the text. So that is the Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. So we are now talking about a person who is Shraddhaya Upetaha. So this is person who is having Shraddha. He is not somebody who is a careless fellow. He is a person with a lot of devotion, Shraddha. Yogat Chalita Manasaha. So from this path of yoga, Chalita Manasaha, the mind, for some reason, his mind has become disturbed, Chalita. Then Yoga Samsiddhim Aprapya. Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim is Yoga Samsiddhim Aprapya. By not attaining. Aprapya is by not attaining what? Yoga Samsiddhi. That is the ultimate fruit of that yoga. Ultimate fruit of that yoga is Samyak Darshana, which we just saw. That Samyak Darshana he has not got. Then, hey Krishna, Kam Gatim Gacchati. What type of place will he go? He is not exactly going to a place. What will be his plight? What will be his future? What type of what awaits him? So that is the meaning here. Is the shloka clear? Okay, let us read the Bhashyam. Ayatihi iti. Ayatihi aprayatnavan. Yoga marge. Shraddhaya astikya buddhya cha upetaha. Yogat antakalepi. Chalitam manasam manaha yasya. Saha chalita manasaha. Bhrashta smrutihi. So Shankaracharya is further clarifying. Chalita manasa is sometimes bhrashta smruti. Sometimes we find old people, they get into some sort of coma, they go into some delirium. So they are not themselves. So their mind is no longer attentive, their mind is no longer alert. So that sort of stage is possible for everybody. So he is talking about such a stage. Ayatihi aprayatnavan yoga marge. So there are two situations. One is he has not made sufficient effort. He has not made sufficient effort in that yoga marga. Aprayatnavan. That prayatna, prakarshena yatnam. That is constant effort, mighty effort. He has not put in mighty effort. And then in that yoga marga, But then Shraddhaya Astikya Buddhya cha Upetaha. Shraddha is there, Astikya Buddhi. What is Astikya Buddhi? Shraddha I just explained. Astikyam. You know the word Astika and Nastika. What is the meaning of Nastika? Believer in what? No, not believer in God. Believer in God is a theist. Non-believer in God is called an atheist. So these two words we wrongly use, Astika and Nastika. Astika, in the context of Vedanta, it means Astika is somebody who believes in the authenticity of the Veda. He is called Astika. So that is why these darshanas are called Astika darshanas. What? Nyaya, Vaisheshika, then Sankhya and Yoga, then Uttaramimamsa and Purvamimamsa. That is Uttaramimamsa is Vedanta, Purvamimamsa is what we call normally Mimamsa Shastra. So these 6 schools, they are called the Astika darshanas, which believe, which say accept the authenticity of the Vedas, authority of the Vedas. There are Nastika darshanas like Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka and all these people. They are people who are Nastika darshanas, who do not accept the authority of the Vedas. So that is the meaning of Astika and Nastika in the traditional sense. But now, of course, we use it in a very loose way. Astika is a believer in God. Nastika is somebody who is an atheist. We use it that way. But here Astikya Buddhi is what? Astikya Buddhi is, he is referring to Shraddha. Asti, iti bhavaha astikyam. Asti. Asti means, yes, it is true. It exists. So you have to go with the belief. The mind, as I said, mind itself is the laboratory, mind itself is the teacher, mind itself is the reacting material. So it has to go with an Astikya Buddhi. The mind has to be pure. So that purity of mind is that Astikya Buddhi. So that is Asti. Asti iti matihi. This is true. Let me go ahead. So that sort of Buddhi is Shraddha. Shraddhaya Astikya Buddhya cha Upetaha Yogat Antakalepi. Maybe at that say end time. Then Shraddha, regarding Shraddha, there is another thing also which we saw earlier. Shraddha Vitto Bhutva Shraddha Vitto Bhutva Bhutva Atmanyeva Atmanam Pashyati. There is one Shruti which Madhusudana Saraswati is quoting. Shraddha Vittaha. I explained that word. In this Yoga Marga, what is the cash which you have to have? Shraddha is the money. Shraddha is the cash or money which you have to have in order to go this way. If you want to go to some, say Delhi or some such place, you have to go to the airport and then you have to buy a ticket and then go there, isn't it? For that you need some money. So for here, in this method, in this Moksha Marga, what is the Vitta? What is the cash? Shraddha is the cash. If you don't have this Shraddha Vittam, that sort of wealth, you cannot go there. So that is it. Yogat Antakalepi Chalitam Manasam Manahayasya Chalita Manasaha. So one who's maybe for some unfortunate reason, his mind, this Bhrashta Smrutihi. Bhrashta Smriti means one who has lost his memory. Smriti is memory. Bhrashta is, it has gone. Bhrashta Smritihi. This whose memory is gone. So that man, Saha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim Yoga Phalam Samyak Darshanam Kam Gatim He Krishna Gacchati. Saha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim. So this Yoga Samsiddhi, that is the fruit of that yoga. What is that fruit of the yoga? Yoga phalam. Samyak darshanam. Samyak darshanam is that proper understanding. That vision, that is Brahma awareness. Samyak darshanam is Brahman awareness. That is seeing himself as Brahman, seeing everything as Brahman. So that is the Brahman awareness. Samyak darshanam aprapya, by not attaining that, kam gatim he Krishna gacchati. What sort of, what is the fate which awaits him? Where is he going? So that is it. Then, Kachiditi. So this Arjuna's question continues. Let us read the shloka. Kachinno bhaya vibhrashtaha Chinnabhramiva nasyati Chinnabhramiva Apratishto mahabaho Vimudho brahmanah pathi. So he is elaborating the question which he put in the earlier shloka. So he has just said Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim. Then he is elaborating, he is presuming and also elaborating. He is presuming a result. He is presuming a possible result for that man, and then he is putting the question. Kachit is questioning. Whenever you put a question, api, if you start the sentence with api, it becomes a question. Kachit again is a question. So kachit na ubhaya vibhrashtaha, the words have to be split like this. Kachit na ubhaya vibhrashtaha chinna abhram iva nashyati. So the whole sentence means, will he not perish like a cloud which gets scattered, which gets totally tossed away and disappears? So what we see is, suppose there is a cloud, and if the cloud is not very, very dense and not very strong, and then if there is a wind, the cloud gets scattered. It gets scattered into small, small pieces. It just a sort of rent cloud, we say. It gets scattered, and then in course of time it totally disappears also. That cloud naturally, it actually disappears into the air. So unless the cloud is very, very dense. So like that, will he so totally perish what all effort he has done in this dhyana yoga and also prior to that karma yoga? All that effort, will it go waste? Like the example is that of a cloud which gets totally shattered because of wind. So then ubhaya bhrashta, he is becoming an ubhaya bhrashta. Ubhaya bhrashta means he has lost both ways. Both ways means he has lost karma yoga and he has not attained what is to be attained in dhyana yoga. Neither here nor there, falling between the two stools. So that is it. Is he going to fall between the two stools? So that is what is it. Apratishtaha. Apratishtaha means, let me explain the first line. Kachit na ubhaya vibhrashtaha. That is one who has fallen from both ends. Like the trapeze artist, he has fallen from both ends. And then chinna abhram iva nashyati. Chinna means which chinna? That which is scattered. Abhram is megha. Megha is cloud. Abhram is cloud. Abhram iva, like that cloud, will he get scattered? What all say punya, what all good thing he has accumulated, what all dhyana, say in the process of dhyana, what all he has attained, will it totally get scattered and then just disappear in thin air? That is the question. Then apratishtaha. Pratishtha means a sort of stability. Pratishtha is stability. Apratishtaha means absolutely no stability. That thing has just gone. If it is a dense cloud, it will be, there is stability. There is a pratishtha. That is proper stay. The stha and stha dhatu, they are related. So apratishtaha, where there is absolutely no ability. Then vimudhaha brahmana pathi. In this path of Brahman, Brahmanaha pathi. Patha, we know. Patha means path. Then Brahmanaha patha. Pathi. Pathi is Saptami Vibhakti. In the path of what? Brahmanaha, of Brahman. In the path of Brahman, Vimudhaha, that is one who is totally deluded. Vimudhaha, Visheshena Mudhaha, that is somebody who is totally deluded. Deluded because of what? Then because of this unforeseen thing, unforeseen thing, say is smriti bhrashta smritihi. So some such situation where his mind is not in his control, will he just, or what all he has done, will it all go waste? So that is the question. Is the shloka clear? Kachit na ubhaya vibhrashtaha chinnabhram iva nashyati. Na nashyati kim is the question. Na nashyati kim is, will he not perish? So that means Arjuna is presuming that he will totally perish. So that is why he is putting, he is not asking, will he perish? Will he not perish? He is asking. So which means he is sure that that fellow will perish, or he is really afraid that person will perish, or like this Chinnabhram. Then apratishtaha mahabaho vimudhaha brahmanaha pathi. In the path of Brahman, vimudhaha, totally deluded, totally lost that path. He is going in a particular direction. Then he becomes directionless. He is totally directionless. And then he does not know where to go. That is a situation called vimudha. Not that he becomes a fool or anything. Vimudha is, he is going on a particular path. Suddenly he becomes a smriti bhrashta, and then he is not going, he does not know where to go. So in that process, what will happen? Then let us see the bhashyam. Kachit kim na ubhaya vibhrashtaha karma margat yoga margat cha vibhrashta san
Karma margat yoga margat cha vibrashtas san.
Chinnabhramiva nashyati.
Chinnabhramiva nashyati.
Will he, kachit means kim, question mark. Kim na ubhaya bhrashtaha. Will he not perish, having lost at both ends? Having lost at both ends, will he not perish? What are those both ends? Karma margat, yoga margat. He has lost that and he has lost this also. Yoga margat cha vibhrashtaha. Samchinna abhramiva nashyati. Some plus chinna. Chinnabhram. That is a scattered cloud. Like that scattered cloud. Will he not perish? Then kimva na nashyati. Or kimva means or else. Or will he not? Na nashyati means will he remain as it is? Will he be safe? Kimva na nashyati means will he be safe? Then nanashyati apratishtaha. Kimva na nanashyati apratishtaha. Nirashrayo. He mahabaho. Vimudhas san. Brahmanaha pathi. Brahma prapti marge. So Brahma prapti marge. That is Brahma prapti marga is what? Moksha marga. In this marga, Brahmanaha pathi, Brahma pathi, that is moksha marge, in this path for liberation, then apratishtaha. Apratishta, Shankaracharya is giving the meaning nirashrayaha. Ashraya is a place where you can anchor, a place where you can stay. Apratishta is there is no place to stay. That is, he is on a path. Suddenly he has lost his stability of mind and he does not know where to go. He is not able to focus his mind on this Vedanta Vakya. So that is the state. Apratishtaha nirashraya. Till that time that Vedanta Vakya was the ashraya for him. Now he has become nirashraya. Nirashraya he mahabaho vimudhas san. That is having got deluded. What will happen to him? Then let us see the next shloka. Yetaditi. So the same question is continuing. Etanme samshayam Krishna. Chettum arhasya sheshataha. Tvadanyas samshayasya. Chetanahyupapadyate. So this is my doubt, O Krishna, and you are the only person to dispel my doubt, to dispel my samshaya, my doubt. Then tvadanyaha samshayasyasya cheta nahi upapadyate. Except you, there is nobody else who can dispel my doubt, who can answer my question. So let us see this. Yetat me samshayam Krishna. Krishna is the address. Hey Krishna. Yetat me samshayam. This is my doubt. Yetat, this one is my doubt. Then tvam chettum arhasi. Chettum arhasi means tvam is imagined. Chettum arhasi means you are the person capable of destroying it. Chetanam. Chetanam is what? Chetanam is destroying. Chetanam is you just cut it with a knife or sword. That is chetanam. Siracheda. Siracheda means removing the head, or something. Chedanam is just cutting off. So here means, which means dispelling my doubt. So chetum arhasi asheshataha. Without leaving any remnant. Shesham is remnant. Asheshataha means completely you will remove my doubt. Completely you will clarify my doubt. So that is it. Tvadanyaha. Tvadanyaha means somebody other than you. Tvat anyaha. Tvattaha anyaha. That is someone who is other than you. Asya samshayasya cheta nahi upapadyate. So there is nobody who can asya samshayasya, of this samshaya, cheta. Cheta means one who can clarify, one who can cut it, one who can remove it. I can't think of anybody who can remove this doubt. I can't think of anybody else other than you who can remove my doubt. So that is it. Nahi upapadyate. Upapadyate means not available. He is just not, nobody else will be more appropriate than you. You are the most appropriate person. Upapatti, we have come across this word earlier also. Now upapadyate, not appropriate in that sense. But here it means there is nobody else who is appropriate, nobody else who is more suited. So that is it. Let us read the Bhashyam. Etanme samshayam Krishna
Krishna,
Chetum apanetum arhasi asheshataha. So etat me samshayam. Hey Krishna, me samshayam, my doubt. Chetum apanetum. Apanetum means to remove. Arhasi. Arhasi means you are the only person capable. Arhasi is in he is addressing Krishna. Hey Krishna, arhasi. Tvameva asheshataha chetum arhasi. Asheshataha means without leaving any sort of doubt, iota of doubt. Without leaving any iota of doubt, you are capable of removing it. Tvadanyaha, tvattaha anyaha, rushihi devova, chetta nashayita, samshayasya asya, nahi yasmat upapadyate na sambhavati ataha tvameva chetum arhasi ityarthaha. So tvadanyaha, that means tvattaha anyaha, somebody other than you, rushihi devova, may it be a rushi, may it be a great sage, or may it be a god. But still they are not capable, they will not be capable of answering this thing, because this is something which is a sort of transcendental nature. We are doing some little bit of transcendental speculation, as we call it. That is, Rishi and Deva, they can talk about what is in their realm, but we are talking about something which is beyond their realm. So that is why this Rishi or Deva, asya chetta nashayita. Nashayita means one who is a remover. There is no remover of this doubt. There is nobody who is a destroyer of this doubt. Nashayita actually means destroyer. Here, destroying a doubt, that is removing a doubt, clarifying a doubt. Chetta, samshayasya asya, na hi yasmat, because nobody else is more suited. Na upapadyate, nobody is more suited, nobody is more appropriate. Na sambhavati, that is nobody will be there. Tvameva chetum arhasi, you only have to clarify my doubt. So if the time is over, we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.